Hi, it's Elizabeth from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today we'll be doing the handover video of the Elddis Prestidge 175. To use your external shower point, the first thing you want to do is push the black cap off by pushing the blue collar back, and then the cap will pop off. Then you want to attach your external shower, and then you can use it. You need to make sure that you've got your freshwater tank full and your water pump turned on the inside, so you can use your shower. And then when you're done, again push the blue collar back to take your shower off, and then just push the black cap back on for storage. And then just behind your rear wheel we've got your freshwater filler point. So you'll need a hose pipe and some adapters, as most sites just provide a brass tap. You can then put your hose pipe through the hole, filling up your freshwater tank. And then when you're done, just make sure that you lock the cap with the key so no one can tamper with your fresh water. Just below your freshwater filler point, we've got your fresh and waste drain off points. So the grey one is your waste. You just twist the handle around and your wastewater will drain out. The same for your freshwater, you just twist the handle around to drain out your tanks. So you want to do this when you are leaving a site, so you're not travelling home with the added weight of your waste and fresh water. But also when you're winterising your vehicle, you don't want to leave any water in the tanks to freeze and cause frost damage through the winter months. Next we've got your cassette. So you want to make sure the blade on the inside of the toilet is closed, and then you can pull the lever up and bring the cassette out. To empty, you just want to twist the cap off, and then when emptying you want to push in this orange button here. This just allows some air in and stops it from glugging. Then you want to swirl it around with some fresh water, pop some blue or green liquid in the cap, then back on, and then it's ready for use again. At the back of the vehicle at the top we've got your reversing camera, and then we've got your double bike rack, and then we've got your reversing lights. Next we've got your gas locker. So this will hold two 6kg gas bottles. So once you've got your pigtail connected, you can turn your gas flow on and off on the top of the vehicle here. So you can see that there's arrows telling you which way is on and which way is off. Always make sure you turn your gas bottle off when you travel. At the back of the vehicle we've got your barbecue point. So you'll need your adapter and a length of hose to connect to your Cadillac and barbecue. And then once you've got your gas bottles connected and turned on, and you've got your gas flow through the vehicle, you can turn the red handle here. There's also a sticker telling you on and off, and you'll be able to use your external barbecue point. The next locker we'll come to houses your leisure battery and also your hookup point. So when you're hooking up your vehicle to the cable, you want to lift the cap on your cable, slot it onto the vehicle, and then always make sure you connect the cable to the vehicle first and then the mains, and then when disconnecting, disconnect from the mains and then the vehicle, so you're never walking around with a live lead. Next locker we'll come to, we've got external and internal access to this storage point. Just on the outside of your passenger door we've got your diesel and AdBlue. So you'll need your ignition key to open up the diesel cap, and then when filling up your AdBlue, if you go to a petrol station where they take Arctic lorries, you'll be able to fill up your tank from either the pump, but you can also buy it in drums as well. And then again, just on the outside of your passenger door we've got your ideal tyre pressures, and on the front we've got your bonnet release. Under the bonnet, the main things you want to focus on is your screen washer fluid, your engine coolant and your brake fluid, oil and your dipstick, and then we've got your negative here and your positive just down there if you need to give or receive a jump start. And then we've also got the weight plates on the front as well. So first thing you want to do when you get into your motorhome is turn your main control panel on, and then from here you can turn your internal lights on and off. And then you also have individual rocker switches around the vehicle. Then we've got your awning light for outside, and then we also have your water pump. But just check that you've got water in your freshwater tank before turning your water pump on. And then you can also check your leisure battery just by pressing the button and holding until you see it come up on the dial here. Next we've got your heating and hot water. So the top one is your hot water heating settings. So if you click the button, you've got frost, which is about 5 degrees, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, just gas and 1 kilowatt, or gas and 2 kilowatts of electricity for your heating, for the hot water. And then you've got your fan heating, which is the same. So you've got a kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, 3 kilowatts, gas, and then gas and 2 kilowatts of heating on your van. And then to increase and decrease the temperature, you've got the plus and minus. So the top is about 30 degrees, all the way down to about 5 degrees, right at the bottom there. Here we've got your oven working on gas. Here we've got your grill working on gas. To use your Dometic fridge, to turn it on, you just want to hold the button down. And then when you get your blue lights, you can manually pick what energy source, so you can have it on hookup, gas, or vehicle battery. However, because the engine's not running, it is telling there's a fault. And then we've got your temperature, so you can have it on 1 all the way up to 5, 5 being the coldest. In the bathroom, we've got your shower with your sliding doors that meet in the middle. And then we've got your cupboards and some hangers. And then we've got your toilet. Then we've also got your sink, your nice large mirror. And then we've also got your wardrobes with your drawers, large hanging rail to store all your clothes. When you come to use your toilet, as long as your water pump's on and you've got fresh water in the water tank, you can press this blue button on here and you get a flow of water into the bowl. And then to open it, there's the blade down here. Pull the handle and the blade will open and close. After use, always keep your blade and lid shut just to stop any smells coming up through the vehicle. When you want to make your front lounge into your bed, you can either take the backrest off to create 2 long single beds, or if you want to make it into a double, pull out both sides of the bed so that the base meets in the middle. And then what you want to do is bring the base cushions into the middle to meet, and then push your backrest into the gap that's left. And then your double bed is all made up and ready to sleep on. Next, we've got this cupboard with your trip switches and fuses. So it's always a good idea to take some spare fuses with you on holiday, just in case any of them blow, you can easily replace them. And then above, we've got your trip switches. So if you're hooked up and you're not receiving power in the vehicle, press this button here. If it trips the vehicle, it means there's an issue within the vehicle. However, if it doesn't trip, it means you're not getting any power inside, and it could be an issue with your hookup cable or the mains coming into your vehicle. And just below your fuses, we've got your little rocker switch here. This turns your tank heaters on, so when you're using your vehicle in the winter months, you can heat the water slightly in the tanks just so it doesn't freeze and cause any damage when you're using your vehicle in the winter. Under the bench behind your driver's side, we've got your boiler drain down. As you can see on the floor here, when the yellow toggle is facing the back of the vehicle, the boiler's closed. But if you push the lever to the passenger side, the boiler is open and any water in the boiler will drain out. You want to do this when you're winterizing your vehicle, so you don't leave any water in the boiler to freeze and cause frost damage. Just make sure that you close the boiler when you come to use it again, otherwise the water will keep draining out and you won't be able to get any hot water. To operate the fan, you want to open up the skylight and then click the on button, and then you can bring the air in, or you can bring the air out. And the fan will stop itself and then go the other way. And then when you finish with it, press the off button. And then once the fan's stopped, you can bring the skylight back down and make sure it's locked in place before you travel anywhere. When using your radio, on the left hand side you've got your volume button and your on and off button, and then on the right side you've got your tune scroll, or you can search all the stations and scroll through and pick the specific one you want. And then on the side we've got your media, so you can connect your phone. So you can connect a phone through Bluetooth. And then you've also got your menu settings, so you can scroll through. And you can also skip through with your forwards and backwards, pause, and also go back. Below we've got your air control, so we've got your fan speed. And then your temperature on the outside of that. And then we've got whether you want it coming from inside or outside, and then the way you want the air to blow. On your steering wheel, we've got your indicators and your full beam. And we've got your wipers. And below we've got your cruise control down here. On the steering wheel you can also change the volume, and then you can also scroll through different radio stations. If you come to the right, if you click mode, you can flick through different settings on your